Hi, I'm Rich Bonaducci.
And I'm Holly Love.
And you are watching Talk 365
on KJazz. Welcome to the show, everybody, and what a show we have for you. Rich Bonaducci, how are you doing?
Very good. I have my new Lego mug. I'm really happy.
I love your Lego mug.
Yep.
You were saying that Legos have never changed their body style
Right.
from the very inception.
Never changed a brick. So if you buy bricks right now or you own the very first Lego, they would go together.
That's really cool.
That's thinking ahead.
Unlike Apple, which we
Right.
wure also talking about,
Yes.
that changes the size of the adapter on a
Every
weekly
time.
basis.
Oh, every time.
Because make it cooler, smaller, faster.
Sorry, I just went Arrested Development for a minute. But
I made a huge mistake. But anyway, word of the day, are you ready for this?
yes.
Okay, so if you don't know, our word of the day is a word that we find on Google. We are super technical here, and it is actually Google's word of the day. And we are supposed to learn it, say it, well, by we I mean me, and then Rich has to use it sometime during the show. I'm supposed to try as well.
Yeah.
We both have to, that's the rules. Okay, so zoosemiotics.
Zoosemiotics.
Zoosemiotics. I've been practicing saying that.
Which is?
It is the study of the way animals communicate, like how they wag their tail to talk to each other, what that means in animal language, and like birds tweeting in their songs. So it would be, in a sentence, it's a noun, so it would be like scientist Bob, his explanation of why the lizard has no friends is due to the lizard's zoosemiotics. Man, it's a tough word. I just brutalized that sentence. It's horrible. It's going to be a long day.
Valerie, I think, is a junior zoosemiologist because she likes to look at our cat and go, she's thinking this because of her tail. I'm like, I totally disagree, but good for you. So
I did that with my dogs. Like, there's books on psychology about their dogs and apparently, and their body language, and that's, the book I just bought is about zoosemiotics.
how about it? Hey, that's an easy way to use that sentence.
Finally. That was
I found a
rough.
word online, and it was zoosemiotics.
Nope, doesn't count.
It does count.
Doesn't count. Okay, hey, have you been playing Pokemon?
Nope.
Really?
Oh, absolutely not.
You're not a video guy?
Not really. Not a video game guy. Not really. I play on occasion, sometimes Marvel X-Men or something like that, but not really.
So did you ever play like Nintendo back in the day or any of those?
On occasion, but never crazily. I played a lot in the arcades at the time, but I don't know, I kind of got out of it. Although, I will enjoy a good night at the Nickelcade on occasion.
See, that's fun though, because you go out and you're there. The only time I ever really got into a video game is when I was like in middle school, and it was Nintendo and Saving the Princess and Mario Brothers and the turtle on the stair to get a million lives. And once I was able to save the princess pretty easily, I was like I was done. I literally didn't ever want to do it again. And at the time, I can sort of understand the draw, because I'd be like so excited to get home and get off the bus and like run home and save the princess. But like, then after that, that was all it took. I was like, okay, and
see you
scene.
doing that.
I'm over it.
Well, why don't you get on out there, get some sun, and go find yourself Pikachu?
So there are 3 Poke shops near my house. People are everywhere, just sort of wandering around like this. They have had to put up extra security at the hospital because people are wandering into zones they shouldn't, where there's sick people.
We're operating here. Could you?
You could bring bacteria and horrible things in. There's people who
that's
are
true.
falling off cliffs. People are stopping in the
Yes.
middle of streets to grab a Pokemon, or on the freeway.
Yeah.
It's Banana Town. What is going on?
Those 2 dudes walked off a cliff, 50 and 90 feet. They got hurt. They were okay, but
They lived. It's
I'm glad
crazy.
they're getting out there.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
glad that it's like helping people to just kind of go out and walk around and bump into other people who are also staring at their
So
phones.
it's like
but
yeah.
I get out enough.
You feel that way?
When am I not out? Look at my face. When am I
Well,
not
that's true.
outside?
You did out tan your makeup.
I did have to tan my man makeup.
So it's his man makeup for television, and now I get it. Yay! It's forever makeup. I love it. Okay, so anyway, Pokemon's crazy. Please be careful, people. Please look up. Please don't just wander around and fall in a hole. And
oh, but speaking of outside,
yes,
you might be able to find some Pokemon while you're paddleboarding.
It's true. That is very true.
There could be who knows how many things up there at that reservoir.
If you get a signal, because I did not get a signal. Remember, I was trying to get a hold of you? It was like bad.
Oh, that would be...
That would shut it down.
That would shut it down, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. There's like no signal. Okay, so I went to Causey Dam.
Causey Dam.
It was my friend Rodney's birthday, and we had a big barbecue, and it was fun. And then we went over to the lake, and it is Paddleboard USA. There are so many paddleboards, and it's beautiful. It's above Snow Basin. Have you ever been?
No, I want to go.
Okay, we need to go because I was thinking you paddleboarded at the expo.
I paddleboarded once in my life, and you saw it.
Yeah, and you did good. You jumped right on.
Yeah, jumped right. I didn't fall off. I thought I was going to a couple times.
A lot of core strength, I think, is what they were saying.
Yeah,
it builds.
that's
it's
the
a good
thing.
workout.
That's one of the reasons why I want to do it. It's fun. It's a light workout, but it really requires a lot of balance and core strength. So.
People were there with their
stuff.
dogs on there. So I think her name was Julie, who we talked to. We'll have to do a little.
We'll check out our tape.
Check out our tape and find out, and we should see if we can get some and
right.
head back up there because it was really lovely. And if you're looking for an activity besides playing Pokemon and you want to head up to Causey Dam, I highly recommend it. It was absolutely beautiful. So there you go.
That's what we'll do.
Okay, well, don't go anywhere. Coming up next, I have got news you can use Holly style, and it's going to be good.
Talk 365 studio space provided by Media Riff.
Non-attorney spokesperson. Attention women with ovarian cancer. If you or a loved one use baby powder before your diagnosis,
call 800-226-2156 now.
You may be entitled to compensation. For decades, medical studies have linked long-term use of baby powder with ovarian cancer. If you or someone you love was diagnosed with ovarian cancer after using baby powder,
call 800-226-2156 now.
Hello and welcome back to the show. You are just in time to hear about all of Holly's ailments. You see, Holly has been under the weather for a while now, but the good news is she found out what is wrong.
Yes.
And what to do about it. And the reason why you need to know about this is not only because you are concerned, but because you might have this and not even know it.
It's true. So basically, I've been sick for a year. I've been in and out of the ER. I've been there twice. I've seen 2 gastros. I've been to my doctor every month trying to figure out why I've been unable to keep food in. I'm always nauseous. I'm dizzy, basically, throwing up and not really being able to eat. I'm never hungry. You always give me a hard time because I can't really sit still and eat anything because it just, everything makes you sick. And after a while, it's not fun to eat. And it's been a really rough year. And having a bunch of tests, everything from my gallbladder to they did ultrasounds on my stomach, they did CAT scans. $2,000 really spent for me because I had to pay for the deductible in order to pay for all of these tests and ER visits. And I always thought that the blood work they were doing when I was there was sufficient because everything kept coming back that everything was fine. My kidneys were fine. They were worried about that because I was bloating really heavily in my legs and my ankles and I had a yellow tongue. And they were worried about my heart. And so they were doing a lot of tests. It felt like I was on top of my game, right? And everything came back that basically I was just fine. And in fact, one of the gastros, I had to fill out kind of a form where I told about my life and what I do and stressors. And he looked at it and was like, you're in TV, you got some crazy stuff happening here and here.
What? Stress.
Stress. You crazy. And I know that a lot of you out there get that to be your diagnosis, that you're nuts. And while, it is always good to manage your mental health and well-being, it's a great thing. I highly advocate therapy. Being told that when you're throwing up everything you eat is really not fun, and especially when it goes on for a year and you start to get really depressed and almost anxiety-ridden and scared because you're like, what if I can never eat again? I went back to the boys at Integrated Wellness and they demanded that I do a series of blood work. Now, I have been a hippie my whole life. I've always worked with alternative medicine while I was working with doctors. Sort of middle of the row hippie, I guess, really, because I've always done both. If I had strep, I had penicillin. Just because I had it help me once when I was young, herbs, and they work, and they've always worked for me. So I didn't know that they had started this whole functional side. I guess I didn't really understand what functional medicine is. Integrated Wellness, Dr. Corey Frogley has been my doctor for eons for my back. Even when I was in school and still doing ballet and everything, I was seeing him. And then they added this functional medications or functional medical side that is teamed up by his brother, Dr. Chris Frogley. And I had a chance to visit with him. He took blood work, so much so that my doctor was scoffing at it when he was putting up the labs for me.
Scoffing.
A little bit. He was like, oh, because it was so much. We tested for thyroid, vitamins, my levels of vitamins in my body. They tested for hormone levels. I mean, just huge amounts of blood. There's like 10 vials of blood that they took. It was a lot.
Probably going through all the zoosemiotics.
Yes, close, but no, you still have to use that word somewhere else in the show. And they found out I have this bacteria called H. pylori. H. pylori is one of the most common bacteria on the planet right now. It's everywhere. It's a bit of an epidemic, and half the people in the world have it and don't know that they do.
Not
really.
This half.
Yeah, half of the world has it, and that's a Mayo Clinic statistic, and they don't know they have it because you have to be tested to or have some really crazy symptoms pop up that lead doctors to push you to do some testing. And I have a bit of a crazy theory, and I hope I can't get sued or anything by any of these like big heartburn medication companies.
Make it quick.
But basically, it causes peptic ulcers, H. pylori. They don't just happen from stress and eating. So a lot of people have this, and you're taking these heartburn medications every day. Really what you should be doing is killing this bacteria in your gut, and maybe you didn't get the blood work done to do it. So because this is such a basic step, and I went a whole year, and I didn't know how to like own my own healthcare enough, even with all of my knowledge that I have, to go after a blood test of this intensity, to really know what they were testing and know what I need to do to find out what's wrong with me. I want to share my experience with you, and we are going to do an entire wellness week next week. So you're going to want to tune in. We're going to talk with Dr. Frogley and some other people in the healthcare industry that will help you if you've been struggling or just in general with getting everything well, great, lovely, and fantastic in your life in order. So there you go. That is my news you can use. Get blood work done, own your healthcare, and watch us next week, and we'll give you more information.
And stick around because we have a really cool segment coming up.
We do. Small Talk brought to you by University Credit Union with Clearwater Homes, Micah Peters. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss this.
Very interesting.
Really cool stuff.
Attention oxygen therapy users. Stay tuned for a 30-day risk-free trial offer.
I lost my freedom the day I went on oxygen. Those tanks, they kept me from really enjoying my life.
Introducing the new Inogen 1 G3, our smallest and lightest unit ever. It's a super lightweight, easy-to-use portable oxygen concentrator that makes its own oxygen. It works just like your big in-home concentrator, but it's much smaller and lighter than all of our previous models, so you can use it anytime, anywhere, at home, away, and even for travel. Inogen is a nationwide accredited home care provider that specializes in oxygen therapy. We work with your doctor, Medicare, and your insurance company to make sure the Inogen 1 is right for you.
Call now and speak with our oxygen specialists to receive your very own Inogen 1 risk-free for 30 days.
Call 1-800-499-5012 for your free no obligation information kit. Call 1-800-499-5012.
If you've been looking for alternative healthcare, imagine coming into a facility where you can meet with someone who specializes in your condition and then takes your exam findings and meets with a team of specialists to come up with a combined approach that will put you back on the path to health. At Integrated Wellness, they have everything from a medical doctor to an allergy specialist on staff. All combined, they can treat conditions ranging from rheumatoid arthritis to allergies, even chronic fatigue. Call Integrated Wellness for your consultation so you can be on the path to wellness today.
University Credit Union, local to Utah, loyal to you.
Hello and welcome back to the show. You are just in time for a small talk brought to you by University Federal Credit Union about Clearwater Homes.
Yes, Micah Peters, home builder, does amazing things. But before we go to that, we're going to talk a little bit about University Credit Union because they're super cool.
Very similar to the way that they did with the Bagel Project and Penny Ann's. They got behind them because they don't just crunch the numbers. They look at the potential and they decide this is something that we really think is a risk worth taking.
Yeah.
And so University Federal Credit Union really gets behind local businesses, and so do we. And
Yep.
we like to highlight them in a segment we call Small Talk, and this one right here called Clearwater Homes.
Small Talk is brought to you by University Credit Union.
Hey everybody, welcome to Small Talk. Today we are downtown Salt Lake City at Clearwater Homes, and we are joined by Micah Peters. Micah, thank you so much for letting us swing by.
Thank you, Holly. I appreciate you guys coming.
So I know you have a lot of passion projects that are happening right now and that you've done, and you love downtown. But before we get to that, I want you to go back in time a little bit and tell me how you got your start into home building.
Oh, okay. In 2004, I started working for large publicly traded home builders like D.R. Horton and MDC Holdings. And after about a decade as a senior executive for those publicly traded construction companies, I started my own company, Clearwater Homes, at the beginning of 2012.
Okay, so did you always know you wanted to be a builder? Was that a passion of yours from like being a child, or how did you happen into that?
You know, I was always around construction. My mom's an architect and a builder as well, and so I just really had a passion for architecture and design, and just kind of fell into it, really.
And what brought you to Utah?
So I was born here in Salt Lake City, moved away, and then came back in high school. And so it just, it's really my home, Salt Lake City.
So mom and dad, everybody's here.
Absolutely, yep.
Very good. And so starting your own business in 2012, I know that it was a little bit of a tough time.
Absolutely, it was really the dregs of the Great Recession, and clearly the real estate market was in trouble. A lot of people were kind of running for the hills. Our strategy when we started the company was that we really wanted to have two divisions, a downtown Salt Lake City division, as well as a single family division. We really felt strongly that the public transportation infrastructure in Salt Lake City was perhaps 15 to 20 years ahead of its time, and that the residential infill around that public transportation infrastructure wasn't there, but there was a fabulous opportunity. With that in mind, we just proceeded to purchase assets at the end of the recession in downtown Salt Lake City.
And you have one project in particular that you took over, and I read an article about you in Downtown Magazine, and you had a quote that I absolutely love because I think it is probably encompasses what all small business owners feel. You said it's selling a condo or a complex is like public nudity, and I so know what it's like to put your heart out there and then just wait and see if it gets stomped on or if people buy. Tell me about that whole experience.
Yeah, well, the intention of that comment was that you do these developments and they take 3-4 years to really materialize, and along the way every day you're making all these small design decisions, and those design decisions are very subjective about your own taste or the taste of your team. So when you finally do come to market, you're really hoping that the culmination of all those decisions has created a product that is just really desirable. And so, at Clearwater Homes, design is really the central theme to what we do. We really love this modern, luxury, industrial, kind of multifamily living in downtown Salt Lake City. And that is typified by really high volume spaces with tall ceilings, lots of windows, and very organic, sustainable materials. It's development's really challenging. You have a long time till you have these monetary events, but when it really comes together, driving past your own developments with your kids, it's something you can be really proud of.
Feels pretty good.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to people who are coming up either in this industry or in general have a dream of owning their own thing? What would you tell them?
Well, entrepreneurialism is, it's its own it's category.
Its own animal, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty much.
And I think that it starts with finding something that you're super passionate about, and you're very interested in. In development, I learn something new every day, and we're doing a project around the corner here, for example, called the Paragon Station, and it's an adaptive reuse project of a 73,000 square foot warehouse that was built in 1918.
Ooh.
And so the physical constraints of the existing structure, we're having to interface with them every day while we're integrating it into a condominium project. And so, you're making decisions and trying to figure stuff out, and it's intellectually very, very challenging every day. So, but it's also very satisfying and very fun. But I guess I would just say, if you want to be an entrepreneur and start your own company, find something you're super passionate about and be very decisive in your process. Don't linger in this place of ambiguity that wastes time and really becomes an energy block for your motivation and your passion for that industry.
Trust your gut.
Yeah.
Going out on your own at that point, how did you find a lender?
Right.
What was that process like?
Yeah, well, a lot of national banks and institutional banks are really still kind of looking in the rearview mirror about all the assets that they had to write down. So when we went out for loans on big projects like the Broadway Park Lofts and the Paragon Station, we were a small company, small boutique, developer. And even though we'd had tremendous success at the Broadway Park Lofts, really nobody would do loans for us.
Really?
And so it forced you to obviously put a lot more skin in the game, your own money. But one institution that really stepped up and had a lot of local pride was the University of Utah Credit Union. It's an institution that's very forward-thinking, very nimble, very quick, and really just has a lot of vision for what downtown Salt Lake can be. And we have a fabulous relationship. I've got some great representatives there that really have an ear for projects that don't really fit in the traditional box of lending. So, for instance, Paragon Station, I can bring something like that to those guys, and they really see the vision for it, and they come through.
And that's the one you're working on right now. That's the old warehouse.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When is that going to be done?
So we have a 14-month development cycle, and
Okay.
we're 12 months into it. We're going to start moving people in September of 2016.
Okay, so soon, save your pennies. And how about here at Broadway? I just got an opportunity to go look at a penthouse overlooking the whole city. It was absolutely beautiful. And I'm just curious here, Mark, with the cameras rolling, how we're coming with that check IOU. I mean, that's going to work, right? Because I can just move in.
Well, we'll have to see. There's a lot of demand over there.
I bet. Are there any left?
We have 3 left that we're going to be releasing soon. And that's a really interesting project, the Broadway Park Lofts. We spoke about it earlier, but like every great pop song, you have to have a hook, and every great development has to have a central feature that really gives the buyer an emotional response to the space. When we were looking at that project and trying to determine what that central feature was going to be, we had this 65-foot elevator shaft that really goes up the center courtyard, and we decided to put a waterfall on that elevator shaft. It's the full height, 65 feet tall, but the angle of repose from the top to the bottom of the waterfall is only 4 feet. So we were challenged with how to keep the water on the face of the waterfall. And what we kind of came up with and invented were these diffusers every 8 feet that capture that water and kind of put it back on the face. The entire waterfall is backlit by an LED system, and it's really pretty tremendous. We're happy with it.
That is awesome. So tell me what you are looking for the future, not only for Clearwater Homes, but also give me a little idea of your vision of downtown, where you'd like to see it go.
Yeah, well, we just love downtown Salt Lake City, and we really believe that it can be fabulous western mid-sized city. Again, I talked about public transportation earlier, and I think that's the core of really what's going to drive downtown development. The Wasatch Front is going to have, it's going to double its population by 2050, and we got to find a place for all these people to live. And my vision is that contiguous to our public transit corridor, that we're going to continue to entitle and build high-density, mixed-use, very efficient, very green developments that provide pedestrian opportunities to really circulate around the city and have an amazing lifestyle.
Moving forward, for people who are interested in contacting you or moving downtown or looking at your stuff, how does that happen?
So you can go to our website, clearwaterhomesutah.com. There's a community section there that really details all of our for sale product in the multifamily sector in Salt Lake, as well as our single family division, and then our for rent division as well.
Awesome. So Move downtown, come downtown, it's super cool. Thanks again for being here. Rich and I will be right back right after this.
Small Talk is made possible by University Credit Union. Local to Utah, loyal to you.
Attention homeowners. Quicken Loans has some very important information regarding the U.S. government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. Nearly 3 million homeowners have already taken advantage of this fantastic money-saving program. But there are so many more of you who could be saving hundreds of dollars every month on your mortgage. Quicken Loans is here to help you save money. Why Quicken Loans? The home loan experts at Quicken Loans fully understand the HARP guidelines. We'll work with you to understand your specific circumstances and strive to find the financial solution that's best for you. Then we'll guide you through each step of the mortgage refinance process to make sure that it's both simple and easy. If you weren't HARP eligible in the past, new guidelines could mean that now you are. Give us a call and we'll give you a Quicken Loans mortgage review. It's simple and easy. To learn more about this money-saving U.S. government program, call Quicken Loans today or go to quickenloans.com for a mortgage experience that's engineered to amaze.
I don't know. Going back to school just seems impossible.
That's why WGU reinvented higher education. You can move through courses faster and graduate for half the cost.
Really?
Honey, just listen to the bird.
WGU. It's a new kind of view.
Hair care for the Talk 365 team provided by Becky Betts.
Welcome back, everybody. Before we let you go, we have our joke of the day. Mr. Rich Bonaducci has it, that every man should know.
From the book.
Every man should know.
Jokes every man should know. All right. Ooh, a slightly longer one. I'll read it quickly.
Okay.
A worker in the post office is sorting through the mail when she sees a letter addressed to God, care of heaven. She opens it up, which is illegal, and it's a note from a little old lady. The lady says she has never asked anyone for anything in her life, but she desperately needs $500 to pay her heating and other bills. She hoped maybe God could send her some money. So it's around holiday time, so the postal worker decides to take up a collection from their colleagues, and they end up getting like $450, and they send it in cash to the lady. A few weeks later, there's another letter addressed to God. The same old woman. The worker opens it up and it reads, "Dear God, thank you so much for the money you sent. It helped me get through a difficult time and I'm glad I had the faith. However, I only received $450. Must have been those at the post office."
That's funny.
You said it's okay, Jen?
I don't think so. You're going to be bleeping.
Okay. I'll take that out.
Yeah, that was awesome.
There you go.
That's really funny.
A joke every man should know.
Dang post office.
Gosh darn. At the post office.
Bleep. That's going to be our whole show. All right, thank you for joining us. Be sure and come back tomorrow. We've got another really great show for you. Have a fantastic day.